Good morning, everyone. I'd like to say something about the high order thinking skills nowadays that we have to undergo training in that area. Then we must realize that we should focus actually on developing this kind of skills among ourselves. Uh, these skills, among others, are the problem-solving skills, thinking-based learning, uh, for all our activities and also thinking routines. Very essential that we know this. And then based on this, we should also know that the core component in anything is whether you like it or not. Sometimes at schools you don't like this mathematics. It's some kind of mathematical thinking, and along with that is the process that is involved. Uh, the need for this kind of hot skills uh, is real, and we really have to learn critical thinking, creative thinking, mathematical thinking, scientific thinking, decision making, problem solving, and learn how to learn. Very, very important. Yeah. In this way, we can later on meet the demand of the IR4, machine learning, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data analytics, and robotics. The goals of all this training is actually to enable ourselves to be able to think critically, creatively, and innovatively, and also to get involved in the solving of the complex problems, and also to have some kind of to acquire some kind of intellectual traits, such as intellectual integrity, intellectual logicalness, intellectual humility, and so on. Very, very important, and we should be also open-minded in that sense. See, ways of teaching thinking is sometimes very odd to say this, but it's this, teaching of thinking. Teaching of thinking. Even thinking, we have to really to do the teaching and learning. Teaching for thinking, there's another one. And if using all the hot skills such as critical thinking, creative thinking into content instructions, whatever that we have, as we call it normally syllabus, then we must infuse the hot skills into this. The high order thinking skills required to prepare ourselves for the transformation era, no doubt about it. And the problem solving that we normally say is awareness and application of hot skills such as critical thinking, analysis, reflection, evaluation, metacognition, strategies of problem solving or solving problems that of model that was propagated by Polya. Communication in mathematics involving mathematical representation, visual thinking, mathematical modeling, management of mathematical learning, and so on. Cognition, as you know, is a mental activity that involves acquisition, storage, retrieval, and use of knowledge, reasoning, thinking, decision making, and problem solving. And metacognition is one more thing, that is your knowledge of and awareness about the cognitive process that is involved. Then, when talk in the normal sense at schools, for example, or colleges or universities, we talk about pedagogy, then raise the question of how do we teach, how do we lecture our students, how to teach, how to evaluate. And in fact, pedagogy, in the normal sense of the school system, college system, and the university system, is actually the heart of uh, education and training. Well, the capacity to go beyond that actually, information given, to adopt critical stance, to evaluate, to have metacognition awareness, and the problem-solving capacities. Where in this particular case we have this creative thinking, looking alternatives, possibilities, imagination. That we have creative imagination and act of synthesis. For example, we put things together, thoughts together, to get the new ones, basic types of thinking that lies uh, behind creative thinking. Okay. The higher order thinking skills then include critical thinking, metacognitive skills, and creative thinking. Then intellectual traits such as integrity, ethics, flexibility in thinking, intellectual humility, which is the opposite of intellectual arrogance, awareness and regulate one's own thinking, necessary planning and overall course of action, selecting specific strategies, monitoring progress, asserting results, and assessing the results that we get, the reflection, and so on. Revising plans and strategies if necessary. That's the reflection. The ladder of metacognition, guiding ourselves as you practice doing this kind of thinking skillfully, planning how you do the same kind of thinking next time it is needed, reflectively evaluating the effectiveness of the strategy that you are using, and knowing the strategy that you are doing as you do the thinking, uh, being aware of the kind of thinking you are doing. I repeat, guiding ourselves as we practice doing this kind of thinking skillfully. This is the ladder of metacognition. Planning how you will do the same kind of thinking next time around, reflectively evaluating the effectiveness of the strategy that we use, knowing the strategy that we have as you do the thinking, and being aware of the kind of thinking you are doing. Okay, understanding the hot processes such as mathematical thinking, example, scientific thinking, critical thinking, and creative thinking will enable us to transfer the processes into different kind of situation, application, and creating new technology, innovation, importance of hot and visible thinking. Okay, the critical thinking therefore is our ability to do analysis, and analysis is to look at dots and find meaningful relationship between the dots and join them together and see what happens. Breaking complex problems into smaller problems, simpler one to make way for generalization, and you do the synthesis, joining the dots to produce new ideas. Uh, that's how we can be creative and innovative. And generating possibilities, fluency, generating of multiple ideas, flexibility, different types of ideas, elaboration, providing details of ideas, originality, generating unusual ideas, brainstorming, a technique that is normally used to generate set of possibilities. So we have the thinking routines, making the thinking visible, documentation of thinking, and culture of thinking is very important. Yeah. So there's what we have to cover in a one-day course that we'll organize. Thank you.